Welcome to the podcast, Let's Talk PWS, a series all about Prader-Willi syndrome. I'm Susie.
And I'm Katie. Let's start talking.
Good evening, listeners. Welcome to episode 8 of Let's Talk PWS. And tonight we have our first viewer's choice topic, which is about Centrelink and Medicare, the daunting world of navigating all the paperwork. Hi, Katie. How you going?
Fantastic, Susie. Yes. So our first question came from Louise in WA.
Yep.
And she would love some guidance on steps to take for Centrelink and Medicare when your child turns 18.
Okay. Well, there's probably a few steps to go through before 18 because there's some milestones that when one ages, even, when they're a child, that, we can still intervene and try and get some support or help or benefits or whatever, along the journey of all of this. So it is a bit complicated, but it's a good question to ask. So let's go through this. I think, Katie, weren't you saying that there was a workshop or something like that people can attend even if it's online that's run out of WA?
That's right. So after Louise asked the question, she actually went to a workshop and found us the answers.
Oh, good.
So that's the best kind of question asker, isn't it?
Because they never make it easy for us, do
No, they don't.
The government.
So, yes, it does start when you're 14. So for your child, when your child turns 14, you can get a tax file number, an email address.
At that age, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose so, because a lot of people work when they're 14
That's right.
or kids work. They have their part-time job at Coles or what have you. Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Yes, and a bank account and a MyGov account.
Yep.
For the family member, you do not have access to Medicare and immunisation history after your child is 14. If you want to act on their behalf, for Medicare purposes, you're required to complete the M0050 form. So when you actually Google that form, it comes up. It's real.
An enduring power of attorney Medicare form, isn't it?
I think so, yes.
I do have one of those. And forgive me, it's Steph's now 20, so that was some 6 years ago, and all the trauma and drama and joy that we've been through between then and now. But yes, I do have that on file. So yes. I can get access to any of her Medicare information. I did complete that. That's not too arduous. I think you can just download the form once you navigate through the labyrinth of the Medicare site, and then it's just a matter of submitting it. Yes. And you may have to get on the phone and just stamp your feet a bit to get it all uploaded onto your Medicare file.
Yes, exactly. And anything that we talk about today, you might get better or different information. So please go to Medicare, go to Centrelink and get the accurate information.
Absolutely.
This is just a general guide that there are things to do, but it's not overwhelming. It's just quite simple. So
absolutely, because I'll put my hand up. I for one get super, super frustrated with this sort of stuff, and I just I'm not the expert. Yeah. But I have many of the things that we're going to talk about in place.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So when your child's 15, they can get their own Medicare card or stay on the parents'. And the parents act on behalf of someone for Medicare purposes. So that's similar to what you did when they were 14.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, it comes down to everyone can, you do you type thing. But I had a, square in my sights at one of these days I would be guardian for Stephanie. So I wanted her to stay on my Medicare card to keep it all, just in one central card.
Neat and tidy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to go through what happens when they're 16?
16, the good old time. I mean, Prader-Willi will absolutely qualify for the disability support pension. They're going to need it. 9 times, well, I shouldn't say, but look, some do have capacity to work that we know, but many don't. But still, I do strongly encourage that they get onto having a disability support pension. Why not? They're entitled to it. Yes, you have to jump through considerable hoops. A very dear friend of mine who is known as Auntie Kim, she actually supported me through the damn forms. They just did my head in. And I just lose my patience with these things because it's a lot to do. It's like the traditional old white pages worth of documentation that you've got to go through. Then, of course, you've got to get the GP health report too, which is shouldn't be a hassle. That's just a matter of make the appointment. You probably have got an established relationship with a GP anyway, so he's going to say, yes, it's a no-brainer. But collating all that information, that documentation, my biggest recommendation and what Kim did for me was she just had it all organised in one foul swoop. So it was one pass and we just rocked up to Centrecare. I did have to stay on the phone for 100 hours, as we usually do with these government agencies, but to book the appointment to get into Centrecare. So I had all my documentation neat and tidy in a little bow, and I just handed it over. I even took my laptop just in case they needed something else, because I wasn't going to be sent away just to go through the whole process again of staying online for, on the phone for 3 hours to book the appointment. I wanted to say to the biddy at Centrelink, no, if you need that form fixed, I will just do it right now, and please, can you just print it out? But anyway, we didn't have to go through that pass, but it just went through in one foul swoop. So done, and thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
So now that's just ticking along, and Steph has been receiving that disability support pension since she was 16.
Yep.
Just be prepared for all the bureaucracy and the paperwork for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's when they're 16?
Yeah. Then there's also the carers payments and the carers allowance. So there's the difference. The carers one, I can't remember exactly which one's which, but one's if you're full-time carer for your PWS loved one, and then the other one is just a fortnightly.
Yeah.
No, they're both fortnightly, aren't they? But one's if you're a full-time carer and you had to give up work. The other one is if your pride willie is still residing with you, then you get that. I think it's like $160 a fortnight. Yeah. So that stops though. That one stops if your pride willie loved one moves out.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So
on the health card.
Yes, the healthcare card.
Yeah. Which I get a bit confused about, because the healthcare card is kind of one and the same, because when you get your disability support pension, you get your pension card, and that comes in the form of, like, if it's coming out in paper, there's a little cardboard section in it that you can pop out, which is the concession card, which is the healthcare card. So
that's right.
It's kind of one in the same.
So it's a DSP. Yes, that's right. So it says that you need to reapply it if you don't receive the DSP. You can still have a healthcare card. So yeah. So it is a bit complex. But if you get the DSP, that card is your healthcare card.
Yeah, and there's plenty of us around to pick up the phone to and talk to about going through it. Like I said, I was forever grateful for Kim doing it for me, because I'd rather stick pins in my eyes than go through these damn forms. But, just other people might just think it's a breeze.
Yeah, that's right. Some people love it.
Yeah.
That's right. And when did you get Steph's companion card? How old was she? Was that after school?
No, years ago.
Okay.
Years and years and years ago. Again, the companion cards are interesting, and the government agencies, some of them are a bit slow on the uptake of doing things electronically, and the companion cards really were quite annoying, because that crowd was saying that we have to print these forms out and snail mail them in and all the rest of it. But look, for our Pradas in the Lion world and many of our other clients, we've just been smashing out these forms, not smashing out, but we've been completing them. Again, you can tell I hate form work, right? But we've just been completing them electronically and then emailing them in. They don't like it, but quite frankly, they need to keep up. They need to make these forms interactable and electronic in terms of submission. But yes, the companion card, I think they're eligible. I don't really know what the age is for eligibility about companion card, but definitely get it, because it will
save
enable
so much money.
Enable your child to get
access to community.
Absolutely.
Events.
And then the carer gets in for nothing, whether
That's
it's you acting as the carer or informal carer, or whether it's a paid support.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a real it's a money saver.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we were really slow off the mark with the companion card, again, because it's such a arduous process with the form.
Yeah.
And we finally put it in July last year, and we still don't have it. They did send us a letter in September to say that we have everything. You're in the queue. So
is that a Victorian thing?
Maybe. It took me 9 months to get the DSP as well, but to their credit, they did backdate it from when they had all of the information.
And so they
should.
And
then we still had to wait 6 more months to get it.
Yeah.
So this is a process that you kind of want to be on the front foot with.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
And, I think sometimes you need to be a little bit dogged and pick if you want to get the desired outcome. Sometimes you have to be a bit dogged and persistent and get on the phone and be quite forthright with some of these government agencies, because they just, I don't know, just sometimes they're just in their rinse and repeat sort of routine of just not, like when we sent in electronic submissions for the companion cards, they went, oh, no, you can't do that. And my immediate response was, why not? You've got all the information that you need, and then just by challenging them, they accepted it.
Yeah, and mine was electronic, so they must have changed that. Because
even things like having to drive to the post office, I mean, who's got stamps these days? That's just an extra waste of time that I don't have.
Yeah, I mean, there are hospitals that don't accept emails because sensitive information over the internet.
Yeah.
So you got to fax things. And I'm like, who has a fax?
I know.
Every hospital does, because they have to fax everything. So, there are some that have to sort of stay back in that until I can make it secure.
Yeah, so I don't know. Look, I just, everyone can do it however they want to, but that was just my experience with it also.
Just be aware that it can take quite some time.
Yeah.
So when our kids turn 17 and they're about to leave school, or in those last couple of years, we get introduced to this thing called SLES, which is School Leaver Employment Supports.
Yeah, well, that's an NDIS term, isn't it?
Yes. So that's a bucket of funding in the NDIS.
Yeah. Well, I think they've changed that support name as well. I think it's just employment supports now. But yes, absolutely, that's something that as soon as your Prader-Willi loved one starts entering that year where they're going to turn 18, absolutely you need to start thinking about what NDIA deem as a major life transition, and that is leaving school and turning 18, and then that employment support. Yes, if they've got capacity to be able to work. Steph unfortunately doesn't, but some do, then I'd be absolutely just recommending that they try and get that funding in there as well. It's beneficial to them.
Yeah, and a lot of high schools will have a dedicated person to help them leave school really well, like with the maximum amount of support. So with companion card, with a SLES, their funding and all the other things. So introduce them to various programs and services and, to help them sort of step over into that next stage.
But the turning 17 point is, and just the SLES on its own in isolation, focusing on that, I do not recommend. I strongly recommend at that point in time, if we're talking NDIS plans, that they should be going for a change of situation because of the major life transition being deemed as turning 18, because everything changes. You don't have the babysitter of school anymore.
And that also that total scaffolding and that complete structure and support that they had is all of a sudden going to be gone. So how are you going to build that or create that with NDIS services? So that's something that I think is really important to share with our community because it is such a traumatic thing for a lot of our kids when they go from all to nothing, because support and security is something that they really need, that anchor. And so that can probably prevent a lot of the difficulty and the challenge if we do have enough in their plan to carry them through that transition. Including capacity building and things like that, just being able to cope with not going to school anymore and not having 5 teachers and not having 30 friends and not having all the things, because they don't like change at all.
No. And look, viewers, listeners, look, apologies when I reference school being babysitting, but my experience or Steph's experiences with school, it was literally that she really didn't increase her capacity just by sheer force of the complexities of her disability. So the bottom line of what I'm trying to convey is that was 6 hours where she was supported in the school environment as such. So when that all goes, you're exposed.
Yeah, that's
and so
right.
is your Prader-Willi one. So that's why, get ahead of the curve there and get a functional capacity assessment done with a really experienced OT. It can't be someone who's fresh out of uni, because they just don't have the life skill set, and yet alone writing in medico-legal terms, which is what NDIA wants. So we can't have lofty little, she's a lovely little girl, blah, blah, blah. We need clinical hard facts to cut through to resonate with an insurance scheme.
Yeah. And what is the functional capacity?
Correct.
So that's really important. And also
Critical.
start replacing those communities. So for Chelsea, she was playing rugby. So she played rugby with Canberra Raiders because they have a score team. So the NRL have 4 teams that are for people with special needs. So there's Canberra Raiders, there's Melbourne Storm, Illawarra Dragons and Tigers West that all have teams. So start creating that community, become a part of Special Olympics, do things that are world class but have a lot of community engagement.
Yeah, if they can, they have the capacity to do so. Yeah,
I think with being still at school, it kind of feels familiar to be going to training, going to a class, going and listening, having a coach.
Yeah,
having a coach is really important. Having a mentor or someone that they can look up to, turn to. So just recreating that kind of an environment for them before they finish school.
I think turning 17 is such a big topic that could almost be a standalone episode on its own right.
Yeah.
But one thing I would caution any parent that has a Pride Willie coming into that sort of age and transitioning, get on the front foot of it.
Yeah.
Don't take NDIA's calls and just accept a plan rollover unless you really want to. But I'd be strongly pushing forward, just having that change of situation to get your funding, because 9 times out of 10 they need it.
And if you can beef it up, you will minimise the impact of it.
Yeah.
Because it's real. Like the impact of having all of your supports taken away is very real to them. And it can be quite traumatic.
Yep.
So that's really important, Susie. So to have a close, to have a good care team around them at that stage, and having your ducks in a row, and having people who can write a report and get you that change of situation to have your to go to that next level in your plan.
Yeah,
because your Pride of Willie child is going to, like, it does become quite. I call it the monster truck. I call it the monster truck. I think it's when they all of a sudden become a completely different person, and that can be quite scary to think about. But if you've got all of your if you're equipped to handle it and you know where to go to get all the help and you know it's coming, then forewarned is forearmed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Then 18, voting.
Yeah. So Chelsea loves voting. She thinks she has every right to decide who is the government, and she loves looking at all the different personalities and all the people, and so she really loves that whole thing, and she likes lining up on the day and going to the polling booths and telling them her name and where she lives.
Whereas Steph wouldn't know what a voting booth looked like. If she did, she'd probably vote one Saba, her Siamese cat. But anyway, okay, well, that's something to get ahead of too, because did Chelsea get fined?
Chelsea got a fine because we missed a postal vote when we were moving house.
That is absolutely absurd.
I know.
Okay, well, that's something
terrifying.
Again to think about as well.
Yeah, I requested a review and they said no. But yeah, just if you are going to do the whole voting thing, keep on top of when the elections are. The main ones are fine. It's when it's a postal vote that it becomes a bit tricky.
Yeah, okay. All right, something to note.
So this Approaching Adulthood is actually a workshop. It's a 3-hour workshop that we'll put this in the chat. We'll put it in the chat, and it's something that Louise actually sent to us and posted on Facebook. So it's a part of their 3-hour workshop. It's run by the DDWA, so in Western Australia, and it's fantastic. They said we would welcome PWS Australia members, and it's $15. So, and you get the resource booklet. So, get as much help and resources as you can. Yeah,
good. All right.
Yeah,
and I don't think we touched on just turning 18 as well, potentially and most likely.
Yes.
Men, I'd love to get the stats on the cohort of Pride of Willie across Australia about who's guardian and who's not.
Yeah.
But, particularly when there's restrictive practices in place, then there'll be guardianship requirements for RPs, and then potentially guardianship outright for accommodation matters, health matters, all that sort of stuff too, which is then dealing with yet another government body called the Civil Administration Tribunal. So in Queensland, it's QCAT, in Victoria, VCAT, and then NCAT and what have you.
So actually our next viewer's choice will air in 8 weeks and it's actually all around that, Susie. So it's a question from Debbie in Queensland.
Yep.
She's been chatting recently with other mums about wills and setting up trusts for our kids, and we're all clueless.
Yep.
She would love to hear from more experienced mums on this. So what we do know, Debbie, is that it's not a one-size-fits-all and it's different in every state. State trustees run information sessions about this. The power of attorney is for medical and financial. They are separate. And disability trust is something that you need to set up for the future.
Yes.
And it's such a huge topic that we need an entire episode for this.
Yep.
So, and an expert. So we found one. His name is Clint Canther. And thank you, Debbie, for also providing the answer to this one. And he is a lawyer and a parent of a PWS child. And he's agreed to be our guest in a couple of months. And he will go through some really helpful and relevant things for our families and our community.
Oh, that would be really good.
Yeah.
It's much needed because, we never want anything bad to happen, but it can happen. We've
That's
just
right.
been through that whole episode of organising our estate, and I know there is provision for a special disability trust for Steph. Ask me if I understand it. No. So that's going to be really good for Clint to explain it to us.
Yeah, exactly, because our kids just sit there thinking that it's all just going to happen. So we need to make that the case.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Great.
So, we're looking forward to that. And so if you do have any viewer's choice questions, please send them through and we would definitely find the expert or find the information that you need and have a whole episode on that. So finally this evening, we have a gorgeous video from one of our Owler members, superstar Lucy. And here's Lucy.
Hi, I'm Lucy. I really love animals and I'm currently working at my auntie's property where I get to help out with the horses. I get to brush and wash these horses and sometimes even play with the goats and the rabbits. I even have a groundwork lesson exercising my favourite horse, Biscuit. I was really excited to be accepted into a program funded by the NDIS at Amazement Farm and Fun Park located on the Central Coast. This involves following a keeper once a week and learning how to care for the zoo animals. I also have an interest in craft activities and also listening to music, especially Harry Styles and Taylor Swift. Another thing about me is I love working out, whether it's personal training at the gym, walking, and even swimming. I heard about the Owler group meetings after my regular doctor appointments at RPA. This has given me the opportunity to talk to other people with Prader-Willi syndrome and make new friends and also learn how to cope with its challenges. I joined the Owler group meetings with the goal of meeting people with PWS and also making friends, but otherwise I hadn't put in the effort to meet people with the same condition. You can imagine my surprise when I met a friend at Amazement who also is doing the same program and also unrecognized from the Owler group meetings. I really encourage anyone with PWS to consider joining the Owler group meetings.
As we close tonight, don't forget to sign up as members at pws.org.au, where you'll also find ways to donate and sponsor our various projects and initiatives. Please remember to like, follow and share us on our socials. And until next week, let's keep talking.